I built a business that makes money on its own, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. It wasn't about hiring a massive team or stumbling upon some secret. It was about building a system that I call the Value Engine. And it's designed to automatically turn a vast majority of people who watch my content, which are total strangers, into a thriving, profitable community. For most creators, those viewers are just a vanity metric, a number that looks cool, but it doesn't really build anything. For me, that group became the fuel of my business that literally runs itself. This isn't about getting a lucky break. And in this video, I'm gonna give you that exact blueprint. I'm gonna show you step by step how my Value Engine works so that you can stop being the bottleneck in your own business and start building an asset that works for you even when you're not. Section 1. The creator's dilemma. If you create content, you know this feeling. You spend hours, maybe even days, scripting, shooting, and editing a single video. You hit publish, and for a glorious 48 hours, you watch the numbers go up, but then it all flatlines. And the algorithm, which is your new boss, immediately asks, so what have you done for me lately? So you get right back on the hamster wheel, and you have to, because if you stop, your growth stops, and your income stops. You haven't really built a business. You built yourself a job, and it's the one with the most demanding and unpredictable boss in the world. This is just the old trap of trading time for money, wrapped in a shinier, more modern package. We're all told to just make more content, to post consistently. You know, I've even heard to feed the beast, but that advice is just flawed because it keeps you, the creator, as the single point of failure. You are the engine, and if you burn out, the whole thing grinds to a halt. I know because I was there. I was obsessed with the analytics, with view counts, with trying to please an algorithm that couldn't care less about my sleep schedule. My audience was growing, but almost all of them were complete strangers I'd never interact with. They'd watch one video and then disappear back into the internet, and I wasn't building a community. I was just entertaining a crowd. I remember looking at my revenue one month and it hitting me. If I got sick, or I took a 2-week vacation, or if I simply just wanted to step away and think for a minute, everything in my business would collapse. The income was directly tied to my hours on the hamster wheel. That feeling of being trapped by the very thing I built for my freedom was the most frustrating thought I'd ever had. It's a pain that so many business owners feel, being stuck even though you're working harder than ever. And that's when I realized that the problem wasn't my work ethic. The problem was the model I'd created. The whole model was wrong. Section 2, the turning point. The breakthrough came when I stopped thinking like a content creator and I started thinking like an architect. An architect doesn't just show up to a site and start hammering nails. They design a blueprint first. They create a system where every part works together, where the foundation supports the whole structure without the architect having to be there to hold the entire thing up. I needed to stop being the guy hammering the nails and become the one who designed the blueprint. That's when I had my aha moment. I started asking a totally different question. Instead of, how can I get more views on my next video? I asked, how can I build a system that automatically gives so much value to a first-time viewer that they willingly and even eagerly choose to take the next step with me? The answer to that question is what I now call the Value Engine. And the Value Engine is a system with one job: automatically provide escalating value to a person, turning their passive content consumption into active community membership. It's a shift from chasing views to building relationships at scale. It's a framework that takes a complete stranger who stumbles on your work and systematically builds enough trust and delivers enough value that they eventually become a loyal member of your tribe. The beauty of it is that once the engine is built, it just runs. It works 24/7, nurturing leads, building trust, and converting viewers, whether you're at your desk or on a beach. It turns content from a bunch of one-off sprints into a single, powerful asset that grows its value over time. Section 3, deconstructing the Value Engine. So what does this system actually look like, and how do you build it? I've broken the Value Engine down into 5 stages. This is the blueprint, the machine that does all of the work behind the scene. Stage 1 is the filter. The first part of the engine, it's about attracting the right people. This is a huge distinction. Most creators aim for viral content, hoping to cast the widest net. The Value Engine actually does the opposite. It uses your content as a super specific filter. Before you even think about your next video, you have to define your ideal customer. Who are you really trying to reach? What are their biggest frustrations, their hopes, their fears, their goals? Just get absurdly specific. Right? My ideal person isn't just someone starting a business, it's someone who feels trapped in their current path, who values freedom more than stated. My ideal person isn't just someone starting a business. It's someone who feels trapped in their current path, who values freedom more than status, and who's willing to build systems but totally feels overwhelmed on where to start. Every single piece of content you make should speak directly to this person. It should actually repel the people you're not trying to reach. When someone who isn't your ideal customer clicks on your video, they should feel like they've walked into the wrong party and quietly see themselves out. And that's actually a good thing, right? Businesses aren't meant to go viral. They're meant to generate revenue. It means your filter is working. Your content stops being about getting 1 million views and starts being about getting 1,000 perfect views. And these will come from the exact people your engine is built to serve. And if it goes viral by accident, then you might be the next Alex Hormozi. But that shouldn't be your #1 goal yet. Stage 2. The bridge. So the right person found your video. They're watching, nodding along, feeling like you get them. Now what? Most of the time, they close the tab and you never see them again. This is where you lose them. To stop that from happening, you need a bridge. Stage 2 is creating an irresistible offer that bridges the gap between them passively watching and actively interacting with you. This is not a buy my course pitch. It's an offer of pure, straight up value. And here's the thing, it must be something that solves the next logical problem for the person who just watched your video. And the other secret, it has to be free. This is the first real transaction between you and the customer. They give you a little bit of their trust in the form of their email address, and in return, you give them a tool that's genuinely valuable. For example, if your video is 5 beginner gardener's mistakes, the irresistible offer shouldn't be buy my tools. It should be free gardening planning checklist, or a printable companion planting guide, something like that. This offer needs to be a hell yes for your ideal customer. It needs to be so good and so perfectly matched to their needs that they'd feel dumb not to grab it. This is how you move someone from a passive viewer to an actual lead in your system. It's the handshake that starts a real relationship. Stage 3 is the pathway. This is where the runs without me magic really kicks in. Once someone grabs your irresistible offer, they enter stage 3. The automated pathway. This is a pre-built sequence, usually emails, that does the heavy lifting of building trust for you. So many people get this wrong. They grab an email and then either spam people with sales pitches or just forget about them entirely. A real nurture funnel does neither. Its only job is to keep delivering value and build a human connection automatically. And it does this using an automation tool. And there's tons, from simple to advanced. Ones like NAN, day 1 would be the first email, which instantly delivers their awesome thing they just signed up for, and it's immediately valuable. And then a few days later, on day 3, the second email tells a personal story related to the topic of the video they saw. You share a failure, a lesson, something that shows you're not just some guru on a mountaintop. You were once in their shoes. Day 5, the third email could give them another piece of high-value content, maybe a link to an unlisted video or a case study of someone who got a great result using your advice. You're basically proving your methods work. And day 7, you could do something like tackling a common fear or objection. This would be something that you know your ideal customer has. And by handing their doubts before they even voice them, you build incredible trust. This whole sequence runs on autopilot. Every single person gets the same curated, value-packed experience, and it systematically builds a bond with them, making them feel seen and understood, without you having to lift a finger after you set it up. Stage 4 is the inner circle. By the end of this automated pathway, you've turned a cold viewer into a warm lead. They know you, they trust you, and you've already helped them. But the goal of the value engine isn't to just build an email list. It's to build a community. So the final step in the sequence is an invitation. You invite them to join your inner circle. This could be a free Discord server, a private Facebook group, or a community forum. But the important part is that it's a place where they can talk to each other, not just you. This is a huge moment in automating your business. When your community members start answering each other's questions, sharing wins, and forming their own bonds, the business really starts running without you. You're no longer the bottleneck everyone has to go through. You've created a self-sustaining ecosystem. The automated funnel works 24/7 to bring new, aligned people to this ecosystem, which then takes on a life of its own. Stage 5 is the optimizer. A system isn't something that you just build and forget. It's a living thing. The final stage is the optimizer, or the feedback loop. This just means that you look at the data to see how your engine is running, and you constantly tune it up. You track the key numbers at each stage. What percentage of viewers are actually clicking the link for your irresistible offer? What's the conversion rate on your landing page? What are the open and click-through rates on your emails? Which emails make people unsubscribe? Each data point tells you a story. A low click-through rate just means that your offer isn't juicy enough. A high unsubscribe rate on email number 3 means that the story you're telling isn't landing right. You can then use A/B testing to experiment. Try a new headline, test a different freebie, test a new story. This process of consistent data-driven tinkering is what turns a good system into a world-class machine over time. It ensures that your engine gets more efficient and more profitable every single month. Section 4, the proof. So let's make this real. How does this actually work in my business? Let me walk you through it. Someone trying to escape the 9-to-5 finds one of my YouTube videos about building automated income. In that video, I'll spend 15 minutes detailing a specific strategy. But I know that's not enough for them to actually get a result. So at the end of the video, I'll say, everything that I just showed you is one part of a bigger system. I've mapped out the entire system, including the software I use, and a step-by-step checklist in a free guide called the Automation Blueprint. You can grab it in the link in the description. A viewer who is truly my ideal person, who feels that pain of being trapped, will click on that link. They hit a simple page that repeats the promise of the blueprint, they enter an email, and instantly, my value engine sends them a PDF. And boom, they have a tangible tool they can use today. But it doesn't stop. 2 days later, they get an automated email from me with the subject line, "My first try at this was a complete disaster." I tell a story of a failed project and the big lesson I learned. It builds immediate reputation. 4 days after that, they get another email with a link to a short unlisted video showing them exactly how to set up a key piece of software from the blueprint, and I'm just removing friction and adding value. Finally, a week later, they get an email that says, "The best results happen in a community." It invites them to join our free Discord server to share their progress. That one system, running on its own, takes a total stranger from YouTube and systematically turns them into a community member. And along the way, they've gotten a ton of value. That system, all by itself, turned about 7% of my Instagram viewers into email subscribers. And get this, of those subscribers, nearly 40% go on to join communities that I create. And that's the engine at work. Section 5, why this is the future for creators. So why does this model work so much better than the content hamster wheel? Because it completely shifts your focus. You stop chasing flimsy metrics like views and subscribers, and you start focusing on the only metric that builds real, long-term businesses: the depth of the relationship with your audience. The value engine works because it's built on authentic generosity. At every single stage, you're giving and giving and giving before you ever ask for anything. You give great content, then more wisdom, stories, and only then do you invite them deeper. By the time you ever make an offer for a paid product, you're not selling to a cold audience. You're offering it to a community of people who already know, like, and trust you, because your automated system already did the work of building that trust for you. This is how you build an asset, not just an audience. An audience leaves when you stop performing for them. An asset is a system that works for you, creating value and generating income, separate from your direct daily effort. It's the difference between being a performer and being an owner. When you build a value engine, you're not just making content, you're building an asset. You're building freedom. You're finally building a business that can run without you. And to help you get started, I've created the exact space I wish I had when I was starting out. I actually just started a brand new community for that person I described earlier. That's someone who feels trapped in their current path, who values freedom more than status, and who's willing to build systems but feels totally overwhelmed by where to start. This isn't just a group, it's a workshop. It's a place where we can apply the value engine blueprint together. We can share what's working and get direct feedback. It's the next step, the logical step. If this video resonated with you, then I want to personally invite you to join us. The link is in the description below, and I'm currently running an offer where the first 15 people who sign up for this community will get a half-off discount for their first 3 months. Stop being the engine in your business, and it's time to go build one.